Hi, this is Michelle Sujai with another video to help you help yourself through being prepared. Today I'm going to talk about gardening. A lot of us are not good gardeners. A lot of us kill cactus. I've been one of those, but not anymore because I've learned through trial and error what's easy. What's easy for me is when I eat peppers, I take the seeds and I throw them in the yard. And guess what? They like to grow. I cook beans from scratch sometimes, but other times not so much. But when I have fresh beans or lentils, I take a few of them and I throw them in the yard. And you know what? They grow. You can put them along the fence line, loosen up the soil a little bit, throw some seeds out there. You can even throw popcorn seeds out there. Or you can just go to the Dollar Tree and get some seeds, or any hardware store, especially in the spring. Get inexpensive seeds. Some people want to get heirloom seeds, but I just say do what's easy. When you eat something, you know you like it. Take the seeds from those tomatoes, whatever you have, and just put it in the ground or put it in a pot. You can get a pot and dig up soil from your yard and put it in there. The problem with yards is because of chemtrails and pollution, a lot of the soil is not all that great. But I typically take soil from the yard, mix it with my tea leaves, mix it with eggshells, and then also, if I can get a bag of good potting soil, I get it from the hardware store and I mix it with the yard leaves and whatever else I have so that I have nutritious soil that is compatible with my lifestyle, making it easy. So I throw all that stuff together in a pot and toss some seeds in there and see what happens. I recommend a lot of things to people. And anyone who owns their own home, they should have fruit trees in their yard, at least one. And I'm saying that because it's easy, it's no maintenance, and the tree's available when it's available. And you can invite people over to help you harvest. A friend bought a house and I asked her what kind of fruit tree did she want in her yard. She said she wanted a lemon tree, but she lives in Atlanta. Lemon trees don't grow well in Atlanta, except I do know people who have lemon trees on their porch, in their living room. They move the tree out during the warm weather and they move the tree in during the cold weather. And so you can actually have citrus plants growing in your house. You just have to make sure you pay attention. And what I mean by pay attention is water it periodically. That's the problem with some people is they don't even remember to water it at least once or twice a week. But fruit trees, if you live most places, you can have fruit trees in your yard, and once it's there, it doesn't cost you anything. Some people have a watering system and they water their fruit trees periodically, but most of the fruit trees I know of don't really require that much maintenance. So, if you own a home, plant fruit trees. But anyone can grow vegetables. I don't care who you are or where you are. So here are some pictures of the vegetables I've been growing over the last few years. I first went to a community garden and they had mint growing wild all over the place because mint will spread. My grandmother had mint, so when I saw the mint, it reminded me of her. So guess what I did? I helped them by picking some of the stray mint, and I took it home and put it in a pot. And if you will notice, all of my plants are in pots because I don't need them growing too wild. Now, do I need to weed them? Do I need to thin them out? Absolutely. But I have been seeding plants. I bought seeds. I bought peat pellets. When you add water, they give you a place to grow seeds. You just put the seeds into the little pellet when it swells up and it helps things grow. I got seeds for $1 at the dollar store. You can get all kinds of things. I have cabbage, carrots, spices, all sorts of things. And this is what I did with them. I put water in the flat peat pellets. They swell up like this. And now I am growing carrots, cabbage, and kale. If you also see in the middle, the little green thing sprouting, that is my bok choy. I have never done this before, but I try anything. I cut off the vegetable part that I eat. I left the base, and then I said, put it in the water of this dish that I was using for the rooting and sprouting of these plants. Guess what? The bok choy started growing. Any good healthy food green vegetable that you eat will probably grow if you throw it in a good environment. I have grown my scallions. I have carrots. I'm doing too much to get to my carrots on time sometimes, and so they end up trying to grow new carrot plants. So why not put this in the ground, put this in the ground, put this in the ground, and guess what? They grow. And no, this is not going to grow another carrot. But what it will do is it will go to seed. When it gets seeds, then you can plant seeds from your own carrots. So even when I'm negligent with my vegetables, sometimes I can do good by planting them. But just getting the seeds, throwing them into the peat, or putting them in the yard, see what happens. If you have potted plants, put them in there. That's how I got the lemon tree started for my friend. I'm also starting grapefruits because there are grapefruit trees here in California, in my neighborhood, that people don't pick the fruits. They have their own natural seeds. They've been growing in the neighborhood for decades. And these are sweet grapefruit. They're not pink grapefruit. They're just not bitter, grow naturally, and are full of seeds. All sorts of things, even avocado. There are lots of YouTube videos on how to grow avocado. My sister used to grow them. She would have 3 or 4 yard sales a year, and part of what she would sell are the plants she would start. I personally went to my cousin's house and said she should have a garden, and she told me she don't have time for that. So without her permission, I went into her backyard, looked at a plot of land. A tree had been cut down. Actually, 2 trees had been cut down. And I just threw some seeds out there. I threw seeds for kale and for watermelon. Guess what happened? She not only got kale and watermelon and ate the watermelon. During this last winter, the Maryland area where she lives got bad snow. And she had food in the refrigerator, but she likes fresh vegetables. So she went out in the yard and realized that peeking through the snow, the kale was still growing through a harsh winter, and she got to pick her own fresh kale for her kale salad, and some of it she got to cook. So let me just tell you, people worry about, well, it's only going to grow for a short period of time, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of things are hardy and will last through the winter. I have been surprised at what will last through the winter and what regrows itself. When it comes to taking care of yourself to be self-sufficient, try what you like. Scallions are easy. You cut off the green part that you like, the little piece that has the root on it, if you get it with the root, which you should. Put it in the ground. If it doesn't even have a root on it, put it in some water. It will root itself. There are so many good vegetables that will regrow themselves, and that's the way I can make the best of an interesting situation. Hi, so if you support my self-sufficiency efforts through Sufficity, like and share so that others will be ready and will not have to get ready. Wishing you the best. Email me questions or comments at gmail.com, and I answer all emails myself. If you'd like to make a donation to the effort, my email works on Zelle.